Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited because today we're going to be talking about the hallmark of frequencies, the absolute highest frequency that you can possibly get. Okay? And I'm talking about a frequency that is even higher than unconditional love, even higher than integrity itself, even higher than authenticity. You guys have probably read how authenticity is the highest frequency. Well, guess what? There's a frequency that is even higher, because this one frequency is the one that will cause all the other frequencies below it to happen completely naturally. It's something that I like to call the Da Vinci frequency, and here's why. So, a little background, okay? Leonardo da Vinci, if you guys have ever read into his story, it's absolutely fantastic. If you don't know, although he was really into his paintings, right? He's really known for his paintings. He's actually an incredible mind. In fact, he's considered one of the smartest people to have ever lived, with an IQ between 180 and 220 are the estimates. Now, Leonardo da Vinci was not just an expert in painting. He had many things that he learned about and that he was interested in, okay? They have different structures and things that he wrote about long before his time. Like centuries before his time, he was writing about structures, okay, about like flying objects and different things, different technologies like that ended up happening like centuries down the road, way before his time, way before even electronics, all of that had even existed. He had thought of these things. So he was an absolute marvel, a genius. And recently I had wanted to study these geniuses, because not just him, but other geniuses of our time and of all time, because I wanted to understand how they thought, right? I wanted to understand how they think. And what I realized is that the biggest philosophers of the day, even the Albert Einsteins of the world and other people like that, they had a different way of thinking that put them on this high frequency. And Leonardo specifically, see, Leonardo da Vinci kept journals. He kept records of things he was just fascinated about that he eventually wanted to look into. Now, how does this have to do with the highest frequency? This is the hallmark of what the highest frequency you can get actually is. And you want to know what it is? I've kept you waiting long enough. It's curiosity. Curiosity, bar none, is the highest frequency you could absolutely have. Because here's the thing, one of the highest frequencies is unconditional love and integrity. Integrity meaning you are fully authentic, right? You fully express what you truly believe inside. There's no deception to yourself and anyone else in that instance. And then as far as unconditional love goes, you are also understanding of other people and who their personas are and who they are, and you don't judge them at all, okay? So those are other things, those are other points of it, of authenticity and of the frequencies, the highest frequencies as well. Now, here, what we have above this is then no thoughts, right? So being present, this is why you've heard of being present, how important it is. Having no thoughts is one of the highest frequencies. However, there's also another frequency that may be on the same level, probably even higher, and that's curiosity. See, because once you get to a state of presence, true presence, you're going to slip into this state of curiosity. Because if you're truly being present to what's around you, you are going to start picking things up you never had before. And in general, you're actually going to become more fascinated with the outside world. Why? Because you're more outward focused, and that's where your focus and attention is drawn to. Okay, so when you're truly being present and you're doing that consistently over a period of time, what's going to happen is you're going to be more interested in the things around you. You're going to become more curious again. It's just like when we were a kid, right? When we're a kid, we ask a million questions about things. This is the state you get into to reach this high frequency, is you start to wonder about things again. You start to ask questions, maybe to people out loud or just to yourself, like, I wonder about this thing, right? I wonder how this works. And that's the ultimate place that you want to get to when it comes to frequency, when it comes to reaching the peak of personal development. Leonardo da Vinci had things in his notebook for a to-do list that most people want to have, right? And most people are like, go shopping today, go to the grocery store, eat this, eat that. But he didn't have those sorts of things, okay? He had on his list, he had things like study the tongue of a woodpecker. Okay, he had these random things in his notebook to study. Because at the end of the day, that was what he was interested in. He wasn't just interested in painting, he was interested in everything and anything that he could possibly be curious about. And so it's about really focusing your attention to the outside world, being curious. Because what too many entrepreneurs, for example, have is this idea that they have to be super focused on one thing. And for me personally, and I know a lot of other people have kind of run into this problem too, it gets you stuck. You don't move when you only think on that one track mind of, oh, okay, I'm just gonna focus on my business and personal development, psychology. I'm gonna completely block anything else with curiosity. I'm telling you, when you do that, you block yourself up. You're not open-minded, so you can't be as creative. And if you're not as creative, you can't solve problems. And what is all that entrepreneurship is? Solving problems. So at the end of the day, you have to be curious. You have to get here if you really want to really see the pinnacles of entrepreneurship or whatever it is you're trying to do. So this is the number one thing. Get curious again. Heal so much to where you have nothing to think about on the inside as far as, beating yourself up and doing all these different things. No, you are curious truly about the outside world and how it works, even with things that seem unrelated completely to what you're trying to do. That is how you get to the highest frequency. That is how you solve any problem, because you'll start making connections with all these so-called unrelated things. You make connections. You have a new insight, a new perspective on a problem. See, a new perspective on something you're trying to solve before, just from letting it go. So it's like detaching too, and then having a state of curiosity in your world. Curiosity solves everything from, well, quite literally problem solving is the key to problem solving, because there's a creativity being present that all leads to curiosity, which that curiosity ends up gaining more information and allowing you to solve more problems. So it allows you to solve problems, okay? It allows you to be good, phenomenally good at anything you want to do. It allows you to be an amazing communicator in conversations. Why? Because if you're curious about that other person, you'll never run out of things to say. You see? And if you're truly operating from a state of curiosity, then you'll never have social anxiety, you see, because you're going to be naturally confident because you're simply curious about things around you. You're not operating from a state of fear. That's not how you're thinking or where you're coming from, right? It's coming from a place of true curiosity. You can't be curious and fearful at the same time, you see? So then you start doing things. You start asking questions no one else would ask. You start figuring things out and going on a path that nobody else, even in entrepreneurship, has. You see? And you start being creative with your problem solving and how to actually solve problems. And then your entrepreneurship journey, whatever journey you are on, becomes a lot easier and clearer. And everybody's like, well, how are you solving all these problems like that when everybody else is, under the guise of you got to work 100-hour weeks, you got to do all this, you got to do that. And you're like, no, I just stay curious. I stay open-minded. I don't stay one track. I'm not just going to, even with routine, it's like being so open-minded. It's like, I'm not just going to sit down and do random work if I don't know what the point of doing it is. I'm going to let my mind go because I understand the importance of intuition and how quantum leaps work. Quantum leaps can only happen if you follow your intuition. And intuition is never a straight line. It's always going to seem random at first until you connect the dots looking backward. And the only way to do that, again, is to get curious. Allow yourself to be curious. So if you want to have a quantum leap and you want to follow your intuition and truly make leaps and bounds that even some of the great entrepreneurs never do, okay, you want to achieve things in a year, what most people take for a decade, you got to follow your intuition. Gotta make those quantum leaps, and the way you do that is stay curious. This is the highest frequency. If you can get this, you achieve anything and everything that you ever want. Okay, so my name is Zachary DeGallo. Again, I'm a one-on-one, or I can work on with you one-on-one as a mindset coach to help you integrate this along with other vibrations and other states of being as well, such as unconditional love and integrity, which you're going to need to understand at a deeper level if you are to reach this state of true curiosity and inspiration to the outside world. So until next time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and check the links in my bio so that we can go ahead and work one-on-one together. And until next time, peace out. Wrigley.